Ancient African astronauts. Did extraterrestrials visit the Nile? What if history class left out the biggest plot twist of all time? I'm talking ancient astronaut level twist. Not just pyramids, but stargates in the Sahara, hieroglyphs showing flying machines, and forgotten monuments that might have been built by something not entirely human. Sounds insane, right? But here's the kicker. It's not just tinfoil hat talk anymore. Even mainstream archaeologists are baffled by what's turning up across Africa. So today, we're diving deep into the Nile, through the deserts of Sudan and into the stars, to ask the question no one else is asking. Did extraterrestrials visit ancient Africa? And if they did, why there? What if the pyramids weren't built by humans alone? What if something or someone else helped? Not a god, not a pharaoh. Something off-world. Look, this isn't just conspiracy talk. There's real smoke here. You've heard of chariots of the gods, right? But what most people skip over is Africa. Why do UFO theorists talk about Sumeria and Peru, but never the Nile? We're talking about one of the oldest civilizations in the world, and there are structures here that just don't add up. Let's start with the megastructures. The Great Pyramid wasn't just a tomb. Its construction precision is still unmatched. We're talking 2.3 million blocks, each weighing tons, aligned almost perfectly with the cardinal directions, with a margin of error thinner than a human hair. Even with today's laser-guided tech, we'd struggle. Then there's the unfinished obelisk at Aswan, a single stone weighing around 1,200 tons. That's the weight of about 200 elephants. And guess what? They didn't even finish carving it. It cracked. But how were they planning to move it? No cranes, no wheels, just ancient chisels? Come on. Now let's talk about Nabta Playa. Ever heard of it? It's older than Stonehenge. It's a stone circle right in the middle of the Nubian desert. Doesn't look like much at first glance, but it's aligned precisely with the Orion constellation, the same stars the pyramids are linked to. So now we've got ancient Africans in 5000 BCE not only tracking stars, but designing monuments around them, in isolation. Or was someone showing them the map? Then we've got the weird stuff in the artwork, the so-called helicopter glyphs in Abydos. You've probably seen the picture. It straight up looks like a helicopter, a tank, maybe even a spaceship. Skeptics say it's a case of overlapping hieroglyphs. Maybe, but that doesn't explain the consistency. Then there's the winged sun disk, seen all over ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. It's often carried by what looks like beings in space helmets, with eyes too large, heads too long. Coincidence again? Or are these the ancient equivalent of an alien sketch? And here's the thing, it's not just architecture or symbols. The texts say it too. The gods of Egypt didn't walk. They descended from the sky, from the stars. Osiris, Ruta Horus. They weren't just myth. They were described like beings from another realm, bringing knowledge and tools no human had ever seen before. And then you've got to ask, why all this celestial obsession? The pyramids mirror Orion's belt. Nabta Playa mirrors Sirius. The temples of Dendera and Luxor are aligned with solstices. All of this from people with no telescopes, no satellites, no planes. Either they were freakishly smart, or they had help. Now, fast forward a few thousand years. The UFO sightings in Africa, they're just as mind-bending. 1994, Zimbabwe, aerial scope. 60 kids say they saw a disc-shaped craft land near their schoolyard. They say beings with big eyes came out and communicated telepathically. These weren't kids with YouTube or sci-fi movies. They drew the same thing, told the same story. Government swept it under the rug, but the witnesses still stand by it. Then there's the South African Roswell, the Kalahari incident, a supposed crash landing in 1989, military response covered up, eyewitnesses scared into silence. Even Kenya had a reported crash in 1988. Villagers saw debris scattered across the landscape, strange metals that disappeared overnight. Now, to be fair, not everything mysterious has to be alien. Mainstream archaeologists have plenty of theories about slave labor, ramps, simple tools used efficiently over time. Fair enough, but even they admit the how behind many structures is still unclear. And not just unclear, unfathomable, like lifting 100-ton blocks with copper tools and manpower alone. It doesn't add up. But maybe, and here's the twist, maybe it wasn't aliens at all. Maybe Africa had a lost super civilization, one with tech and knowledge we've forgotten, one that understood astronomy, engineering, and energy in a way that we still don't. What if the gods were just advanced humans, survivors of an earlier age, maybe from Atlantis, or an even older African empire that predates recorded history, one that passed down knowledge in myths, symbols, and stones, until it all got buried. So what do you think? Did extraterrestrials help build the Nile civilizations? Were the gods actually visitors from another planet? Or is this all just evidence of how incredible human beings were, and still are, when we tap into lost knowledge? If this blew your mind, wait till you see what we found buried under Lake Victoria. Let's pick up from that bombshell. Something buried under Lake Victoria. Yeah, it's not just desert ruins and pyramid puzzles anymore. In 2019, sonar scans conducted by an environmental research team revealed strange geometric anomalies beneath Lake Victoria's surface. We're talking massive rectangular shapes, evenly spaced, too precise to be natural. The local tribes, like the Luo and Baganda, have ancient legends of cities swallowed by the lake, entire civilizations wiped out overnight. At first, these were dismissed as just flood story. But what if they weren't? Some divers who attempted to explore the lake bed reported finding smooth, stone-like surfaces, almost like tiles, beneath layers of silt. But the weirdest part? They were pulled off the mission, quietly. Some say it was for safety. Others claim military boats were spotted circling the area days later. Why the secrecy? And the legends don't stop there. In nearby Uganda, there's a story of a sky people who taught agriculture, astronomy, and medicine. They came from above, then vanished when the light from the mountain went dark. In Kenya's Great Rift Valley, cave paintings dating back thousands of years show figures with elongated skulls, surrounded by what looks like flying discs and spiral patterns, a symbol often linked to wormholes or star travel in modern UFO theory. Now think about this. Africa is home to the oldest known Homo sapiens fossils. We all came from here. But what if our story didn't start in caves? What if it started with contact? We already know the Dogon tribe in Mali has detailed astronomical knowledge about Sirius B, a star invisible to the naked eye and only confirmed by telescopes in the 20th century. Yet the Dogon have been talking about it for centuries. They say their ancestors were taught by beings from Sirius. Not in a mythological sense, in a "they came in ships" sense. They even describe the ships spinning as they descended. That's not the kind of thing you accidentally make up, right? Mainstream historians tried to brush it off as chance or later influence. But the Dogon drawings and oral traditions predate colonial contact. Their rituals, their star maps, all point to a cosmic origin. And here's where it gets wild. The Dogon even believe these beings came from a watery world, which brings us back to Lake Victoria, and the idea that maybe, just maybe, the waters are hiding more than ruins. Maybe they're gates. Throughout Africa, water is sacred, not just for life, but for spiritual access. In Zimbabwe, the ancient city of Great Zimbabwe has patterns resembling circuits, spirals, and even wave interference. At first glance, it's just stonework, but viewed from above, it looks engineered, not accidental. What were they really building? Some researchers believe these sites weren't just temples. They were energy hubs. The layout of pyramids, stone circles, and obelisks across the continent, when mapped, form patterns eerily similar to modern energy grids. Ley lines, telluric currents, even resonance frequencies. What if ancient Africa had tapped into the Earth's power long before we wired it? And guess what? Many of these energy hotspots align with celestial bodies. Sirius, Orion, the Pleiades. It's not just Egypt. It's Ghana, Sudan, Ethiopia, South Africa. It's like they were communicating with the sky, or something in the sky was communicating with them. Here's one more twist. In Ethiopia's Axum region, there's a legend about the Ark of the Covenant being stored there. You know, the same ark that supposedly held divine power, or alien tech, depending on who you ask. The priests guarding it still claim it's there. No one's allowed to see it. But radiation-like symptoms have been reported by those who've spent too long near the chamber. Dizziness, hair loss, migraines. Sounds oddly familiar, doesn't it? Now zoom out. Imagine ancient Africa not as a primitive backwater, but as a cosmic hub, a landing zone, a knowledge vault, a place where early humans were either seeded, guided, or enhanced by off-world visitors. It would flip everything we know about history on its head. Maybe that's why some parts of the past feel missing. Maybe they were hidden or deleted. The question isn't just, did aliens visit ancient Africa? The question is, why is no one talking about it? What if everything we've been taught to see as myth? The gods with wings, the sky chariots, the sudden leap in knowledge was history all along. One thing's clear. Africa holds secrets deeper than its mines, older than its pyramids, and bigger than we're allowed to imagine. And trust me, if you think this is wild, just wait till we show you the blueprints they found carved into stone in ancient Mali that match modern circuit boards. So, here's the million-dollar question. Were ancient African civilizations just incredibly advanced? Or were they helped? Because from Dogon star maps to lakebed anomalies, from megalithic circuits to forbidden artifacts radiating energy, the evidence isn't just stacking up, it's screaming at us. Maybe history wasn't lost. Maybe it was buried, on purpose. And if that's true, if extraterrestrial visitors really did leave a mark here long before any pharaoh or colonizer showed up, then everything changes. Not just what we think we know about Africa, but what we know about ourselves. Because maybe the real cradle of civilization wasn't just human. Still think it's all just myth? Then you seriously need to watch this next video, where we break down the symbols hidden inside African stone circles, and how they match quantum computing patterns